Today we're going to do processors on the motherboard. We're going to go ahead and take it out, check it out, look at it, what it is, and talk about what cools it down and what holds it in place. So first thing we're going to do is take the board out. To do that, we're going to remove this little thing here, and if you notice right here, there's a fan on the back. This is a case fan. It's used to cool the processor. Right here is a heat sink, and underneath this heat sink is where we're going to find the processor. Some motherboards have a fan that goes right over the top of it. That's called a processor fan, and that's also used to cool it. There's tons of different ways to cool it. There's liquid cooling systems that you can use to cool it, but on this one right here, we just have the case fan and the heat sink. So we'll go ahead and pull this motherboard out, unplug the fan. And we're going to go ahead and take the heat sink off. To take the heat sink off, we just pull these little clips, one on each side, kind of give it a little pull right here, and the heat sink pops out. Alright, so here's your processor. The socket that is in it is a ZIF socket, a zero insertion force socket. You just pull this little lever here and it slides it out to where you can go ahead and grab a hold of the processor. Now, looking at this processor, you can see it has little pins on the bottom. That would mean that it's a pin grid array. And this one isn't a staggered, you can see, because they're straight in a line. If they were staggered, this pin would be here, and then the next one would be offset back a little bit, and then forward, and then offset as staggering. Okay. This is an Intel. You can't really see on here. I know it's an Intel because I looked on the case, and it actually has the Intel inside sticker on it. The stuff on it right here is heat sink compound. It's a compound that you put on it so that you can put the heat sink onto it, and it does. I believe it's so it won't touch, be straight to the processor itself. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and install it back in, and to put it back in, you're going to have this little notch right here on the bottom. That's usually this corner right here, so you know to put it, and you don't push it in at all. You just kind of set it back in that corner, and it falls in itself. Then you put down the little lever and it goes back in. Alright, you put the heat sink back on. Clips back on it. Oops. That one goes on this side, huh? Alright. And we'll go ahead and pop it back in. And that's the processor on the motherboard. Thanks.